I, female 32, was on vacation with my husband and his family for 5 days to another state. I'm not too fond of his family due to their intrusive, pushy nature, but I decided to go since he insisted. I brought my video camera to capture moments with him and our toddler daughter. His family and his mom started complaining about not being included in the videos we recorded, but I had already told them I wanted this to be a project for our small family, me, him, and our daughter. He told me that this wasn't right, and that his family, his mom especially, felt disrespected by me continually excluding them from all my videos. He suggested I take a video or two of them to keep the peace. Well, I told him this would cost me money, but he still said okay and took 2 videos, 8 minutes long, of his mom, sister, her kids, husband, and the others. Apparently that was still not enough, as his mom wanted to be present in every video I took with my daughter. I was getting frustrated, honestly. We got on a boat for a short tour, and his mom saw me recording my daughter and demanded I record her, but I politely declined. She threw a fit and told my husband, who gave me a horrible stare, and then demanded that I include his mom in the entire video, but I refused. He suddenly took the camera out of my hand and threw it into the sea. I verbally gasped and then looked at him, and he sat back down nonchalantly, telling me I only got myself to blame for this. I was boiling inside. I looked over and I swear I saw his mom smirking. I argued with him, telling him in front of his family that I was expecting and then demanding him to replace this expensive camera of mine, and the tour was cut short. His family said I once again ruined their trip after I packed my stuff and said I wanted to go home with my daughter. His mom remained calm while his dad defended him, saying that his son was pushed by me and acted out of frustration, and that it was unrealistic of me to expect him to pay that much on something as unimportant as a camera. We went home and the fight continued. Now we're not speaking, but he keeps saying that I should have included his mom in the video and that I was no saint in this situation and shouldn't play victim, much less demand anything from him. But I just wanted to make some memories with my daughter. Was I wrong to demand him to pay for a replacement? Not the idiot. He owes you a replacement camera, and you owe yourself a replacement husband. Please, OP, be careful. The fact you even think you may be an idiot is really worrying. He stole from you, and he's not even remorseful. He almost threatened you. He's manipulating you and straight up told you you had it coming, and you weren't a victim. That screams abusive behavior. OP, to be clear, you don't have an in-law or a mother-in-law problem. You have a husband problem. He went scorched earth when he threw the camera overboard. He was willing to throw away memories of your daughter, your shared daughter, if it meant spiting you and pleasing mommy. He would have benefited from the video and had a token to remember your child by, and yet he chose to yeet the crap into the sea. He cut off the nose to spite your collective face as parents, and somehow you think you're the bad guy here? This behavior on your husband's part is concerning. If he throws an expensive camera out of frustration over something as small as his mom not being included in a video, what's to stop him from escalating to a dangerous level over something that matters big time? How long till he throws something special to his daughter away because he disapproves? OP, your husband is gaslighting you. I've heard men use the same excuse for hitting their wives. I hit you because you misbehaved. Get out of there now. Who knows what this man could and would do in regards to his anger? I am mother-in-law. I don't have any problems with my daughter-in-law. I don't expect them to take my picture or accommodate me in any way. Anything I can do to work with them is good. I think this woman has been playing you a long time. Next time you're around them, just sit back and watch the show. You will see things you never saw before. I officially tied the knot last week. Not sure how, but I convinced the coolest guy in the world that I'm tolerable enough to tie down for life. Super shocking. Thankfully, everyone accommodated that we didn't want children present at our ceremony or reception. The thing that did receive some pushback was our request that unless you were explicitly invited to stay, everyone needed to be out at the reception venue by 7 p.m. Those asked to stay mainly were mine and my husband's friends. As much as I love my parents, siblings, and new in-laws, I did want to partake in a few adult substances and wasn't interested in them bearing witness to other things getting passed around. We had been with them all day and would be seeing them the next morning, as all of us were staying at a place nearby and had plans to grab breakfast together, so I didn't see it as a problem. At that point, I had already had a few drinks, so after some back and forth about whether they really had to head out, I basically said something to the effect of, "If you wouldn't feel comfortable spending the night with us at a gay bar, you should probably leave." The space cleared out quickly after that, and we did our thing with our friends. It was a wonderful end to a wonderful night. However, my dad didn't show up for breakfast the following day, and my sister told me my mom and my mother-in-law weren't happy with my comments. Am I the idiot? Edit. To answer some questions, yes, it was put on the invitations that the reception ended at a particular time. There was no kicking anyone out. The event just ended, and the after party continued. My friend owns the reception venue we used. Attention please. We asked a group of you to stay here with us to celebrate, but the rest of you need to leave now. Thanks for coming though. And you don't think the message should offend? LOL, you are the idiot. Agree. I would have no issues if you entered the reception at 7 p.m. and then you and your friends went and did something together that's separate from the reception. But dividing your reception guests into an A-list and B-list and telling the B-list people they have to leave at 7 p.m. before the party is over is rude. It's incredibly awful that both sets of your parents were on the B-list. You kicked your parents out of your reception. This is incredibly tacky. The wedding reception is for all guests as a thank you for their love and attendance. You got pushed back because you decided that getting high with your friends was more important than showing your love and appreciation for those who attended your wedding. Your dad was right not to attend. Quite frankly, the entire group should have refused to attend once it was made clear that despite being your family, they were the D-list invitees. If you want a wild after party, it is polite to do it at another venue, preferably on a different day, without making a big thing of it. But you need to end the wedding event first. So, I and my 3 siblings and 9 cousins have a grandpa that's not really around for most of us. Around 10 years ago, he decided he only wanted to spend time with 2 specific grandkids, the children of his favorite daughter. So he doesn't speak to the rest of us unless we're at an event, and even then he barely says anything. The last time we saw him was at a wrestling tournament. He watched my cousin and left as soon as my brother's name was called for his match, so it feels pretty deliberate that he doesn't talk to us. For reference, I'm the oldest grandchild at 20, the rest are between 5 and 17. Anyways, my brother had this idea that the next time we saw him at an event, we should just act like we don't know him. He never remembers who we are anyways, and I thought it would be funny. So last week was one of my cousin's birthdays, one of the cousins he likes, and he was there. He didn't interact with us for most of the party, but towards the end of it, he came up to my sister and me and said hello. I said, "Oh, hey, you're ex's grandpa, right? It's so nice to meet you." He looked confused and said, "Well, yes, but aren't you wise kids?" I responded with, "We are. Are you related to her or something? You look kind of like our grandpa, but he hasn't spoken to us in years." He was visibly angry and called me disrespectful before stomping off. Most of the family thinks what I said was funny and not a huge deal, but his wife and the parents of my cousins, his faves, are super angry with me. His wife told me this would ensure he never speaks to us again. Fine by me, LOL. I don't care that he's mad at me, but was this a big idiot thing to do? I thought it was pretty tame as far as jokes go, but people clearly disagree with me. No one noticed how he asked if they were wise kids. Like, he has to almost verify he was talking to who he thought he was first? What does that say? Not the idiot OP. Disrespectful? Maybe, LOL. But he already acts like the rest of you are strangers to him. He got a taste of his medicine and now he's upset. He can't have it both ways. Playing favorites sucks, whether you're a parent or a grandparent, and he's done both. No one's ever called him out on the damage he's done until now. Good for you. In a twisted way, it was funny. Screw him, you lost nothing. You reap what you sow. That's what the unknown man got. You'll notice it's only folks getting special treatment who are saying otherwise within your family. That's because you're not doing anything wrong, but they need to defend him to preserve their relationships with him. I have two biological children with my ex-wife, one of which is Sarah, teen. I also have 3 stepchildren. One is also a girl named Emerson, an older teen. They both have birthdays within a month of each other. Sarah's just starting her first year of high school and wants to get a laptop to do schoolwork at home. She's also into gaming, and she'll frequently tell me about her builds on Roblox. She wanted to get a pretty pricey gaming laptop, claiming it would be a good investment for school and her hobbies. My ex-wife called me asking if I'd like to put forward $300 to buy her the laptop and make it a gift from me, her, and her grandparents. I agreed since I know she's very passionate about her games, which would be suitable for her homework. I told her I needed to wait for my paycheck on the 12th and that I would pay her back then, so she bought the laptop and gifted it to Sarah on the 9th. She was ecstatic, and I could tell she would really enjoy it. After the party, Emerson said, "Speaking of birthdays," and then told me about how she wanted to go on a trip to New York with her friend. I told her 2.5 weeks is very short notice, considering we'd have to pay for me, her mother, her friend, her, and potentially even her siblings if my mother can't take care of them for that week. She began to tear up, and my girlfriend shot me a glare. We had a bit of a heated argument when we got home, and I surrendered and agreed to work it out. I told my ex the following night I could not give my portion of the gift because I needed to deal with this birthday. She exploded, saying she needed that money to make ends meet and for groceries, and that she'd have to return the laptop and buy a cheaper one since she maxed out her credit card to buy it beforehand. I told her it was irresponsible for her to do that, and it was part of why our relationship didn't work out, financial irresponsibility, and I would pay her back in 1 to 2 months. She said it would be my fault that Sarah would be heartbroken. It was my weekend to see her, but she refused. She said she was sick with the flu but couldn't prove it, and my daughter confirmed she was at school the following Monday. I just thought my ex would understand my obligations in my current relationship, but she claims I'm the idiot. Is this a case of my wife making an issue out of nothing? Edit. I called them my stepchildren just to make it easier. We've been dating for a month since her late husband passed earlier this July. They're not technically my stepkids, but I feel we are family. You are the idiot. I told her I needed to wait for my paycheck on the 12th and that I would pay her back then. So she bought the laptop and gifted it to Sarah on the 9th. This is not financial irresponsibility. You told her you would pay her back on the 12th, period. OP, you're a father who prefers to keep peace at home with your girlfriend and stepdaughter rather than honor your part in your daughter's gift. I just thought my ex-wife would understand my obligations in my current relationship. What about your obligations with your daughter? Don't be surprised if she becomes distant. She knows where your priorities are, and they're not towards her. Yeah, he's shown his daughter that he's willing to go back on his word, prioritize someone else's child over his own, and cause financial hardship for his ex. I don't think he realizes that the $300 he took back probably cost him his relationship with his daughter. Not to mention that his daughter also already got her gift and was told it was from him. So not only is he going back on his word, he's getting credit for a gift he didn't even contribute to. All for a child of a girlfriend he's dated for 2 months. Jeez. You can't afford $300 for your daughter, but you can afford to pay for a trip for 6 people? What is wrong with you? Why is your girlfriend's daughter's request for an expensive trip that you clearly cannot afford more important than your commitment to your daughter? Be prepared for your daughter not to forgive or forget this. She's already refusing to see you and can clearly see you prioritizing other children over her. Sort yourself out and pay your ex the money you promised for your child's gift. Growing up, my family and I were all fat. They never taught me about good nutrition and portion sizes. The only exercise I got was in gym class. So of course I was used to all this, right? Especially since a lot of my friends were the same. When I went to college, I was exposed to many new things, and I learned quickly that my family's habits weren't healthy. For years, they always said the weight was genetic. Then when I'd go to lunch with my friend group in the dining hall, I noticed that my portion sizes were huge against theirs. So I cut down my portions, and I joined them doing yoga and stuff. Naturally, I ended up losing some weight, like size 22 to tight size 12. I really like the way I look. You can see my collarbones. but I ended up having to go back home during summer break, and I've been surprised at just how different I feel with my family. When we ordered pizzas 2 years ago, we'd get our own, and it would be gone that night. So we had pizza night when I got home, and I ate 2 slices and that was it. Last week my mom made her special lasagna, and I made a salad to go with it. She always plates the meals and then sets the big dish in the middle so we can have more. Well, the piece she gave me was way too big, so I cut it in half and I served myself more salad. My sister immediately got on my case about how rude that was to Mom because she had worked hard on the lasagna. I said I couldn't eat that much food in one sitting, and she scoffed and said that it didn't used to be a problem. I said yes, but things have changed a little, if you can't tell. She got in my face and said that I brought my college BS home with me, and I should have left it at the door and ate like a normal person. I told her that I was eating like a normal person, that everyone I knew at school eats like this, and that we were the abnormality. It's not normal to be so stuffed at the table that you're in pain. My brother chimed in saying I'd just gained the weight back, so stop pretending I'm better than them. But I don't think I am at all. I'm no better than anyone. But I also don't think I'm wrong for sticking to smaller portions instead of being stuffed all the time. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Well done you for learning new healthier habits. It's not an easy thing to do, so kudos. It doesn't sound like you made a big deal out of it either. If you had a go at your mom or something, that wouldn't be okay. But you just gave yourself a smaller portion. Perfectly reasonable to my mind. I'm sorry your family isn't happy for you about the changes you've been able to put in place. It sounds like maybe your siblings are a bit jealous of what you've been able to achieve. There's nothing disrespectful about eating less than the portion you're given, especially when you're not consulted about what kind of size portion you want before being served. However, being forced to or expected to clean your plate because someone else cooked is one of the many unhealthy habits that some adults enforce on children, and it's even worse when the portions they're forcing are bigger than necessary. A whole pizza per person is entirely ridiculous. Everyone's entitled to decide what or how much to eat, but your family's habits are unhealthy. You weren't trying to show off the changes in your eating habits. You were choosing how much to eat from what is at the table. You're perfectly entitled to do that. Your sister and brother are simply threatened by your weight loss and overall lifestyle changes, and they're picking petty fights to put you down. Deep down, they know they're being unhealthy, but are unwilling to change. This is why your new eating style is triggering for them. I'm happy for you that you're taking care of yourself. Ignore them and keep doing you.